Something else really cool, by the way. A little bit of spoilers for this 25-year-old game. One of the first things that Vivian does after joining your party is she helps you get your name back. Isn't that cool? Like, thematically, I mean, with her being trans, she has mean older sisters who bully her, not necessarily for being a girl, mind you, just generally bully her. And you have your identity stolen by a ghost called Dupless, I think is his name. And she finds you when you're a shadow Mario because you've lost your identity and your name and your personage. And she talks to you and helps you, and you fight Dupless, and she helps you get your name back. Yeah, it's really nice. In the original Japanese text, they do bully her for her gender. Wait, really? In the original, like in the original release, not in the new Switch remaster. Oh, I didn't even know that. Can somebody find, like, hold on, I got a Wikipedia article open. Can somebody find that? Because I would. Beldem calls her a man. She is explicitly trans in Japan. Hold on. 2004. Da, da, da. In some years, she's a transgender woman, while the script in the initial English and German releases were altered to remove any mention of her trans status. In the 2024 Nintendo Switch Remake's English script, her trans status is restored. I love this because there are so many, like, file lolicon dipshits who anytime like a change like this is made, they're like, no, in the original Japanese, they're not woke. This is West wokeoids changing things, feminazi. And then in this case, this is literally just being more true to the original. The original English release was censorship, where they removed the trans element, you know? But they didn't give a shit about that censorship, of course. Original text by region. Original. A former member of the Shadow Trio. He may look like a girl, but he's actually a boy. Wow, okay, that's pretty. Vivian was once part of the Dark Trio. He pretends to be a girl, but is actually a boy. Oh, this is all the different. Okay, I see. But then in the English, it doesn't say that. In the English, it just said one of the Shadow Sirens, Vivian, suffers from a bit of an inferiority complex. Read the Italian one. An ex-member of the Shadow Trio. She used to be a man, but now she's a woman and proud of it. Huh. So that's from the party member description. In Goombella's Tattle, Goombella is a party member you can have who will give you, like, stats on a character. From the original Japanese, it's Vivian, a member of the Shadow Trio, and their youngest sister, no wait, brother. It's Vivian, the youngest sister, I mean brother. The youngest Shadow Trio. That's Vivian, she's the smallest trio, well, he's the smallest. So I guess in the original, the game is transphobic. Because even in the game description text, it's like, actually, that's a guy. You know what really fucked me up about Vivian? The pink spots in her face are not her eyes, they're her blushing cheeks. Yeah, isn't it cute? I think she's got a great design. Just like not even a gender thing or whatever, just like character design wise. She looks really good, you know? Vivian's gender identity is inconsistent between different language translations. In the Japanese version, Vivian identifies and presents as female, but is described as actually being an effeminate-looking boy. The French version follows this, who describes her as a boy pretending to be a girl. The Spanish version describes her as a boy who looks like a girl. The Italian version describes her as a transgender girl. The localization additionally reconfiguring her relationship with gender identity and sisters. In the English and German versions, they portray her as a cisgender girl. This is a lot of text to look at. A lot of this is also kind of like, I mean, we're talking about 20 years of culture moving up, right? Because it's kind of like the Indian third gender thing, I think, to an extent, because Japan has like a long and storied history of having characters who are absolutely trans and then pretending they're not. I don't know why they like doing that so much. They love making characters who are like, "Hello, I am a girl. I present as a girl. I look like a cisgender woman, but like I was born as a boy." And then in the Japanese like meta text will be like, "This is a boy who looks like a girl." It's like they didn't even have a concept of what it meant to be trans. Bro, that is being trans. If you are describing a person as this is a boy, but they identify as a girl and look like a girl and act like a girl and they use she or pronoun or whatever, you're describing a trans woman, even if you don't have the term for it yet. You're just doing that. But then half the time the characters will say they're actually a man and treat them as a woman anyway. Yeah, they do that. Yeah. This is like, I'm not saying it's not transphobic. I'm saying that it's a different kind of transphobia. Because now, if like an American conservative says that a trans woman is a guy, actually, they'll be like, yeah, you're a guy. And it's like this hateful thing. But then, yeah, like Poison, you know? They love doing that shit where they'll be like, I'm going to treat you as a woman, but like if asked directly, I'll just say that you're a guy pretending to be a girl, but I'm treating you like a girl, even though I'm saying out loud that you're pretending to be the thing I'm acknowledging you as. Does that make sense? They did this with Poison too. I remember that. Yeah, it's literally the definition of transmisogyny. Yeah, but it's in a different cultural context. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying it's different to just like sneering at the... Because they then go on to treat them like a girl. Steins Gate was weird about it? Yes, it was. Originally, other fast characters, fighting women led to Poison Roxy being around. Look, due to concerns about Final Fight's development, about reactions from North American audiences to fighting women, led to both Poison and Roxy being reimagined as Newolfs, a Japanese slang term for trans women. However, Nintendo of America did not consider this satisfactory, and both Poison and her palette swap Roxy were replaced by male characters Billy and Sid, and have been for every subsequent This led to conflicting statements over the years that has led to her gender being questioned, though some statements imply Poison is transgender, while Roxy is cisgender. Capcom has just said, it's open to viewer interpretation. It's new half? That's crazy. New halves. New wolves? It looks like wolf, you know? I think One Piece does a decent job with trans rep. Now, you know? Hold on, I'm sorry. Sorry, the original post is the one we read out loud earlier. That's the mean older sister. Are there gendered pronouns in Japanese? Yes. Okay, so what pronouns do they use? Yes, but not explicitly gendered. Yes, but they're not as strict. It's masculine versus feminine. Well, what do they use for Vivian? They like to flip-flop them? Okay, I don't know. She uses feminine first person? Okay, yeah, I guess it's not the same. It's not the same as how we'd use he and she, I guess. In the original Japanese version, Vivian is a transgender woman who describes herself as, quote, one of the three Shadow Sisters. She is scolded by Beldam, who misgenders her, calling her a man. Okay, that's not a femboy, dog. If Vivian is referring to herself as a woman, even if the game is saying this is a man who pretends to be a woman, that's still a trans woman. Like, that's just the game not getting in on it. Like, that's just the game pointing at a trans woman and being transphobic about it, you know? Her round tummy is so cute. She's got a delightful design. It's a very, very cute design. Like Bridget. In Bridget, they explicitly described her as a trans chick in the story path in Guilty Gear Strive. Honestly, who gives a shit, man? Look, if the Japanese otaku audience has and you know what? There's a big fever for it right now. You know, Girl Dick 19 ravaged the world. Everyone wants a cute girl with a dick, it seems. If the Japanese's version of that is, let's have a person who's a cross-dresser and perfectly feminine and looks like a female and passes as one, but we're going to pretend this is just cross-dressing, even though it's a non-stop thing, and cross-dressing definitionally isn't, because then it's not cross-dressing, you're just dressing that way. Like, if that's the Japanese version of having a trans character, okay. But the problem is now that everything is so, like, global, now they have to actually say, like, yeah, okay, we mean she's trans, you know? The anime fandom is pretty conservative, not gonna lie. Depends on where it is. Depends on where it is. And depends on the anime community, you know? It really varies. I mean, maybe the people all playing like Genshin. No, that's not even Japanese. I don't know. Look, basically, trans people stay winning. How about that? Are we cool with that? Can we end with that pointer? Are we cool with that?